flows freely from our tap, and when we take a sip, clean our dishes, or enjoy a long shower, we usually don't think about its journey from river to running faucet. But when water makes the news,
what's left of that water main break that
we
happened
just might think about it.
this morning? You can see this field right here is still covered in water. Started around 5 this morning and lasted roughly an hour.
And you look at it, it looks like a river. Another water main break, leaving them without
I've seen water bubbling out from the ground. Could no cars come through? Could none come through?
This particular water main break in North County at Woodson and Natural Bridge flooded National Rent-A-Car, closed Kratz Elementary.
And by the time I got there, I also managed to get my shoes pretty wet. But I realized for all the headlines, I didn't actually know what a water main break was.
So I asked. Meet Varen Johnson, who spent 30 years fixing them.
When people see it, when they look at the news and they see how that water's gushing out the ground, well, that's a big problem.
A main is what it sounds like, essentially a pipe. I learned mains can break for a variety of reasons and in a variety of different ways.
9 times out of 10 in the wintertime, it'll break what they call circumferential, which is like a round and round. It just breaks from circle, in a big circle. Okay, in the summer times, a lot of times when we are pumping a ton of water, the old pipes, sometimes the pressure hits them and they call longitudinal breaks, where they just split longwise. Or sometimes it might just blow a big pressure hole in the bottom of the pipe or the top of the pipe.
But today on Carmen Valley Drive in Baldwin, Varen and his crew aren't fixing a broken main. They're replacing one that they think might break.
Every street has it meet a certain criteria before we go in and replace it. And this main has just in the last few months, has had eight or nine main breaks on this one street. So that at that point in time, it's pretty persuasive that we need to get in there and get it replaced.
Already in 2014, Missouri American Water has spent just over $10 million in repairs, and another $60 million doing this kind of proactive replacement. They say this is the ideal scenario, prevention rather than repair.
But we hate to disturb anybody's yard. But when you're replacing a new main, you have to disturb somebody's yard. When you think about it, Christmas time, Thanksgiving, you have company, and the worst thing you want is your water to be out because of a main break.
But the neighbors here are still able to water their grass, so I wondered, how do you replace a pipe without turning off the water? As it turns out, the old metal pipe is actually still functional.
It's not that bad, so one guy can probably pick it up, but
and it will remain in the ground even after the flow switches over to the new plastic pipe. But it's a tall order to maintain a complex and rapidly aging system.
Our St. Louis County system is really monumental in size. We have 4,200 miles of pipe. So it's a huge system that has grown decade by decade. And now, in this millennium, we're in the era of replacement.
Last winter saw a record number of main breaks locally, but it's more than just the frigid temperatures.
Weather really doesn't have a lot to do with it. The system's older. That's probably the number one.
As a veteran of this job, Varen has a glass-half-full mentality, even when it comes to repairing water main breaks in sub-zero weather.
1989 was in Brentwood. It was probably zero at a wind chill of about minus 12 or 13, and the water was shooting, I guess, about 30, 35 feet in the air, and it was shooting right over top of this house. And the guy had his Christmas lights on, and the water was freezing on the house, and he just left long icicles, and it looked real pretty in the light. It was a beautiful thing, but at the same time, it was an emergency, so we had to take it, to treat it as such.
For Stay Tuned, I'm Margie Enright.